How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Staying Connected, where we explore the depths of self, the people around us, and our environment. We hope to uncover any life lessons through our experiences, reflect on meaningful relationships built along the way, and to ultimately learn about one another through open and honest conversations. How's it going, guys? I'm Kenny.
And I'm Scott. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So for this episode, since it will be airing during Christmas week, we figured we're going to do a special Christmas themed episode. So best present that you have received for Christmas, all the Christmas accounted for. What do you have, Kenny?
Well, first, my present, the best present I've gotten is not a thing you can hold, or it's like could be like air or something. But actually the best present that I've got so far in life was the opportunity to travel back home and see my family. And if you don't know, I live on a different island away from my family, and it's hard to see them physically because we're just, physically, geographically located in different areas. So, and, there's not a lot of time to go back home and see my parents and my brother and his family, all of that. So yeah, just having the opportunity each year to go back home has always been kind of like the cherry on top during the holidays, being able to see them physically, hug, and
Right.
Just enjoy each other's company. And usually every year, whenever we go back home, we usually have this barbecue, we have presents. My mom sets up the tree every single year, and we all just gather around. My dad, who's a musician, he and his friends, bandmates, could say, they go house to house and go caroling and
That's awesome.
try to spread the Christmas spirit wherever they go. And my hometown, it's Lanai, so that's a quick fact. If you just tuned in, I'm from Lanai, and it's a very small town where everybody knows each other. And having, in addition to seeing my parents and my brother, I also get to see my friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and just any of the community members that helped me along the way into who I am today, and be able to reconnect with them for that time I'm back home, which is generally like a couple of days during that holiday weekend. And yeah, it's just a time where I can reconnect with my family, enjoy just the holiday spirit, and eat a lot of good food, and also just not have to worry about my going on social media, all of that stuff, and just taking a break from everything.
So did you get a chance to go back and visit earlier this year, or?
Well, yeah, because of COVID, it's been pretty restricted into like all these travel policies we have to follow. But luckily, I was able to go back home back in June
Okay.
for my niece's second birthday, and that was the very last time of this year that I went back home. I don't have plans of going back home to Lanai this year, just because of the increase in cases, and it's just kind of too risky, and it seems like a hassle when it comes to traveling with all of these rules we have to follow with the testing and all
What
of that.
what was the restriction back in June? It felt like a while back. Or
I
do you
know.
know what?
It's if I could remember. So back then, back in June, I didn't have to take a test
Right.
in order to travel. I didn't have to quarantine as well. Um, I I think the government, the state of Hawaii government, they lifted the ban on inter-island travel. So
I see.
for a certain amount of time, I was able to book my flight, and then just go freely. And then I think like a couple weeks after, that's when they put it back on lockdown, and
Oh no.
that's when we couldn't travel. So luckily, I was able to go back and not have to worry about quarantining myself.
Is it still you can travel inter-island now? It's like December already.
Yeah,
So
so you have the ability to do inter-island traveling. There are these pre-travel tests that you have to take in order to hop to another island and also come back to Oahu. I remember talking to my friends last night who are planning on going back home during the holidays. Um, and they mentioned that they had to take a test before getting on the plane.
right.
There's also a test available at the airport. Um, I'll try to get more info on the link. I think it's like oneoahu.org, but yeah, you have that chance to take the test and also get your results within 3 to 6 hours before
Wow, pretty
your
fast.
trip. So it's at the airport, and that's what my friends are doing and or have done. So yeah, you're still able to travel during the holidays, inner island wise. Um, but as for out of state, you really have to do your research on what the restrictions are when it comes to those states, and also when you come back to Hawaii, because yeah, it gets confusing to a point where you know it's just a hassle. So I this year, I mean, I just talked to my parents, told them, let's take a break, just because it's a risk, plus it's a hassle, and thankfully we have technology to help us communicate, and every day I communicate with my family.
Do everyone a favor and stay home. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're totally understandable, and it's just the safety of everybody and the whole community. And I don't know if you um tuned in like couple episodes before this. um we did have a spike in my hometown, which was
Yeah,
like
you
up to
mentioned that.
100 up to 100 something cases in less than a week. And from there I was like already telling myself, maybe I should just stay here on Oahu during the holidays, just because I don't want to be that guy to,
Yeah,
you know, who knows? Anything
the
could
hyper
happen.
spreader.
Yeah. Front page of the Lanai community news.
So just because there was a lot of cases there, did everyone recover, or is there any updates on that?
Yeah, actually good updates. Knock on wood, I mean, there hasn't, ever since that increase in cases, there hasn't been um, cases since
Oh,
then. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I talking to my parents, they say that it's pretty strict when it comes to going out, um, and it's a very close knit community, so everybody tries to take on their responsibility as a resident to make sure nobody else, um, yeah, just gets the disease or the virus
Mm.
and all that. So
I think that's one good thing about being a close knit community. Like if anyone acts out, someone is gonna speak up immediately. Like, hey, that's not only
yeah,
gonna affect you and your family, but that's gonna affect everyone around us.
yeah, and
So
everybody knows everybody on the island. So yeah, if you're not wearing your mask every day, people are gonna know, and then
no.
they're gonna know you. They're gonna know that you're that guy that
Oh
didn't
yeah,
wear your
John over
mask.
there. He didn't wear his mask this month.
Yeah, I know where you live. But here on Oahu, it's a little bit different. Um, I mean, I do go out shopping and all that, and it's crazy during the holiday season here. It's you see people shopping like normal, like
Mm.
just I mean, I went to Ala Moana Shopping Center one time recently, and yeah, it feels like it's back to normal. The driving on the roads seems normal. like
Is it more
traffic.
tourists versus locals, or what do you see more of?
I actually, I see tourists here and there, but I think as of now, it's just only domestic, and I
Mm.
think Japan, citizens of Japan can travel to Hawaii. So it's not too much, um, yeah, tourists, especially during this holiday time where it's
Right.
a pretty popular time to travel to Hawaii. So just locals, yeah. But everything feels like it's back to normal. Um, Not in a good way, because I think people are being too free and kind of like not considering the current cases we have now.
So just a
Um,
quick side step before I ask you more about your traditions with the
yeah.
family. So of course, by now, everyone's heard the news that the vaccines will be coming in. Um,
Yes.
you have
It
any
is.
opinions on that? But if you don't want to,
Mhm.
state your opinion, that's fine. Um,
I
what are
mean,
your thoughts, and will you take it,
I
or are
mean,
you gonna
first,
wait it out?
yeah. When I heard that the vaccine was arriving or has arrived in Hawaii already, I was like, wow, after all these months, it's finally here. This might be the key to preventing the spread and the increase of cases. And, I think anybody who was watching the news or just heard about the vaccine coming out, it kind of made people just pause for a moment. And, we have all these first responders, healthcare workers um, that are in line to take the tests first before anyone else. And, um, you know, my initial reaction to just the vaccine is that it's it's a risk to take the vaccine. I personally wouldn't take it right away. Um, yeah, I would probably take it like, let's say, after a couple trials of other people taking it.
If the
So
side effects kicking in, huh?
yeah, but yeah, like I mentioned, like first responders, military, they are in line to take the vaccine. And recently, one of my friends who is a healthcare worker took the vaccine, and what he mentioned was like it's like a flu shot, but he did feel kind of like lightheaded, and his nose was a little runny for like a good 15 minutes. But for the most part, yeah, no severe reactions to it, which is
Is he a young guy with
he is
like
a
no
young.
allergic reaction to anything else?
I don't know about allergic reactions, but so yeah, that's another thing. If you're allergic to certain stuff, that
I
could
don't take
be,
it.
yeah, yeah, that could be a risk. But yeah, we're the same age, so I mean, because our bodies at this age are still kind of like pretty
We're still pretty
healthy and
strong and can
strong.
fight off.
Um, I don't know if they've done tests on like the elderly yet, but everybody has different bodies, and everybody's bodies react to differently to these vaccines. Um, so yeah, I mean, what's your take on that? Are you?
I'm in the same boat as you, Kenny. I think right now we don't have enough information on like, okay, what it's gonna do. I know they say it's 95% effective, but if you think about it, America has 300 million people, and
Yeah.
5% of 300 million people is a good amount. That's a
It's-
lot of people. But yeah, I just want to see, what I'm gonna take it. I'm not against vaccines or anything, and I want to do it for the good of my family, myself, and the community. But let me see what happens to other people first. I want to see a good sample size.
yeah.
Everything is fine, everything's normal. Then I'm gonna take it.
Are you
Um,
required to take it for like your job or for anybody in the healthcare field? I'm not too sure if it's required
right.
or not.
Mm-hmm. So I think right now there's no state law that mandates. I'm not sure how. I think it's by per company. I don't think
Oh,
they're allowed to force you, because I know for the flu shots, you can refuse it if you want.
yeah.
So I think companies would be smart to not go that route to save
Mhm.
themselves a lot of legal issues.
Yeah.
But no, if it comes down to it, if like they're like, hey, you gotta take this shot or you're gonna lose your job, like, dude,
Ooh.
give it a shot. No, I, like my ego isn't that big, and I need money. Like,
Yeah.
and people need to understand we're still going through the pandemic. It's not over yet,
It's
but
not.
we need to make money. It's like, how can I support myself and my family if I don't have an income,
Yeah.
so
And the
I'll take a little
unemployment
side
rate is high already. So,
I'll take a little side effect for a bag, you
mhm.
know.
So I mean, I'll keep you updated on my friend, but so far he's doing fine after that vaccine shot. I don't know when I'm gonna take mine yet, but yeah, I'm already getting emails about like um, these stores offering some of that stuff, and yeah, I don't know, not right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So let's go ahead and jump right back into family
Yeah.
tradition. So,
Hmm.
do you guys buy gifts for each other, or
Hmm.
what's gonna happen this year since you're not gonna be there? Like
Yeah,
any traditions that you and your family do?
I mean, generally, yeah, we've been buying gifts for each other throughout the past couple of years, and yeah, like this year, I was kind of hesitant on going out shopping, and and the fact that I'm not going back home, it's like, huh, what do I do? Do I buy gifts? Do I not? But this year I I did go buy gifts, even though I'm not going back home. I just shipped them over. Thankfully, thankful for all these cargo companies allowing us the ability to ship these Christmas presents. And yeah, I mean, just for me personally, I bought gifts for my family, but you know, I'm a person that I don't need gifts, and like for my family too, like for my parents, I told them, yeah, don't need anything. My brothers, yeah,
Spending
don't need
quality
anything.
time is more important, huh?
Yeah, so that's pretty much the key important thing is just having the opportunity to just spend time with them, even if it's on Zoom like that.
So,
So,
if you don't mind me asking, what kind of presents did you get your?
well, well, hopefully, well, hopefully my brothers and my family, they're not watching this video before Christmas. My brother's in the next room over, so yeah, I would say the other ones first, but like, it's all like house items that they need. Like a microwave. I
Mm.
know like we've had like the oldest microwave ever, and yeah, getting a new microwave for the house
It
is
was time.
was time long overdue. And then just for the health wise of like my family, I got them a blender just so they can what is it, blend whatever fruits, vegetables, and my mom's into gardening, so I got her some planting seeds, some vegetables to grow, and yeah, simple stuff. Nothing too materialistic like those handbags. Um, yeah, those high end stuff.
No,
So
I'm super appreciative of like practical gifts like that. Ones
I
that
was
you
just gonna say that.
communicate.
Yeah, I'm a practical person. It's like I buy stuff that you're most likely gonna
Gonna
use, and yeah, it's
Because
just
I don't want to
simple.
be that guy to be what's the word for that, ungrateful for things. But like,
Mhm.
yeah, I have a lot of clothes, right? You don't need to get me another shirt. You
Mhm.
don't need to get me pants. It's just like,
Yeah,
just come hang out. Let's go grab dinner. Let's hang out. But if
yeah,
you really need to get me a gift, like, I would prefer it just to make the gift giver's choice life a lot easier. Just
yeah.
ask me, hey, what do you need right now? Oh, I need a keychain, or I need a lanyard, or can you get me like a pillow? You know.
Yeah, all of that, all of those simple stuffs, and most likely you're gonna use it. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to spend so much on everything, and it's like something small is okay. And
Mhm.
yeah, like I even asked my dad too, like, is there anything you want for Christmas? And he was like, oh, no need, no
Just
need.
come home, come home.
Yeah, they were asking me like, when is the next time you're gonna come home? And I was like, oh, but I don't know yet. Just whenever this virus is, I don't know, taken care of or kind of eases out a bit more. So,
Have
but they
they ever
understand.
gone from Lanai to here?
No,
Oh, never.
yeah. So, oh, like in the past, yes, but they have ever since COVID. No, I don't think, yeah, no, they just stayed back home, and um, which was a good thing because for a good amount of time there were no cases on the island until that
Right.
um, one weekend. But yeah, they've made use of their time and staying home as much as possible. My dad's working, and my mom's a stay-at-home mom, and then yeah, so my dad is currently working, and it's a holiday season, so tourism is eh, yeah, right now. So
So I know we talked a little bit of your family in the past, and
yeah,
they seem to be like the best present you could receive, especially spending quality time with them. Um,
yeah,
but before all this, and you were still in Lanai, how hard was it to like leave your family, to pursue your career, to
yeah,
pursue education here in Oahu? Talk to us about that.
yeah. I think it was a huge excitement for them actually when I left the island because I was going off to college, and being the first person in the family to go to college um, was something that they've always dreamed of, and
Right.
you know just having their kids go off and pursue what they want to do in life is their happiness. And later on we're going to switch roles. Eventually my parents um, over the years my parents took care of us, and over time, once we kind of get settled into our careers and you know make a living, um, whether it's like financially being stable, we're gonna switch the roles. I'm gonna take care of my parents later on when they get old, and yeah, so just they're pretty happy and excited that we're just out here doing stuff that we intended on doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But for yourself, like, was it like an easy decision to make, or like were you pacing
Yeah.
back and forth, or?
No, it was easy. It was easy. I mean, my love for my hometown will always be there, but I know that at that time when I decided to move to Oahu and pursue my college career, I was like, I'm gonna go to Oahu to learn what I can and um, continue to find opportunities, and then eventually go back home and try to find ways on helping the community. So
Mhm.
I, yeah, I booked a one-way ticket to Oahu um, in the hopes of learning what I can and developing myself, my career, and then going back. Yeah, so it wasn't a hard decision. It was, I mean, being away from my family was one of the key things that really hit hard. But yeah, thankfully we can call and we can still fly back home. I mean, not now, but we have that opportunity. So
No, I
yeah.
just asked because some people they've been in one place for so long, and
Mm,
they call that a home, right?
yeah.
And they've been so integrated into that community's culture, the people. That's where they grew up. That's where all their friends are. That's where they
Mm,
basically learn, you know to become who they are and how they act. And for
Yeah.
myself, I've been in Hawaii for 20 plus years,
Hmm.
and in a year or so, I might not be here because I might have to move elsewhere, for
Ah,
work and that. So, so
yeah.
I get what you're saying, where it's like, oh, it's really exciting because this is a new chapter in life,
Hmm.
and yeah, you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna break out your bubble, you gotta adventure out to the unknown, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like nervous and scary because you don't know anyone, and the
Hmm.
culture from Hawaii culture versus mainland culture is two completely different things. Two different cities, two
Yeah.
types of people. So, for me, I'm super excited. Like I think how you were when you moved, but at the same time, like, am I ready to give all that up?
Yeah.
But
That's a
I know
question.
when the time comes, I will be ready. But
Mhm.
did you do anything to prep, for Oahu, or you just came in with, you know,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned like before, like before moving to Oahu, I never really traveled to this island. I was mostly back on Lanai like my entire life. I mean, I've been to like um, California and New York for like school club trips and all that, but yeah, to Oahu, I never really experienced how it was until I moved here. So yeah, catching the bus was something. Traffic was another thing. Meeting new people, making friendships, all of that. Fitting in, as we talked about before, was also a struggle that I dealt with. And yeah, anywhere you go, I mean, I'm excited for you to be able to take on this new adventure. And it's a time where you would have to adapt quickly and adjust to the whole lifestyle environment of everything. And it's exciting at the same time. I mean, although challenging, you're going to learn a lot about who you are. And um, yeah, definitely using your skill set and just your personality to develop these relationships with strangers. And it's an exciting, I think of it as, yeah, just an exciting adventure ahead,
it
because
seems
then it
like
takes the worriness away.
you learned on the job basically when you came here,
Yeah.
and I don't know, for me, I'm more of like, I
Pretty
have to like
deep
Google
prep.
it. I have to do.
Yeah.
I like to do. I like to do a lot of prep work, just so I can be ready. But one thing about people is this. You don't know. People are just, there's so many variables, and I think you're right in that fact that I just have to learn the job. I
Mhm.
just have to learn culture and habits and of different people and different things, and and it'll just take time.
Yeah.
And the number one thing, what I've seen from you telling your story is you just
Mhm.
gotta put in the work. You can't
Yeah.
you can't expect someone to, oh, come here, let me guide you beneath my wings and have a
Yeah.
mentor show you everything around like you see in the movies or whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta take that step, and you gotta take initiative, and you're gonna fall on your ass, and you're gonna fail a lot, but that's okay. That's
Yeah.
where all the growth is at, right? And you learn from those mistakes. So as much as I don't enjoy failing, I do enjoy the
Mhm.
process of after the failing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it doesn't hurt to do a little research about where you're moving to and just the whole lifestyle. Um, you know, even watching YouTube videos of people moving to these places and kind of telling their reaction. I mean, don't 100% take um, their what is it, their opinions into like 100% consideration,
mhm.
because everybody has their own experiences. And yeah, we all have different adventures, you could
I
say.
think one thing I'm gonna do is one thing that I didn't do when I came here is
Mhm.
when I do move, or if I do move, I'm gonna join like a whole bunch of like professional organizations. I'm gonna join like uh, groups that are like, I'm interested in like basketball, soccer,
Yeah.
um, martial arts, whatever, and just join those groups, build relationships like we have talked about, and just start
Yeah.
from there. If I'm doing a hobby or something or an activity that I'm really passionate about with other people that are just as passionate about, then it'll eventually it'll mesh together very well. That's what I think.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good start. Yeah, just finding people that have the same interests as you, and then yeah, just develop the friendships from there, and yeah, the story goes on.
yeah, and that now that
Yeah.
takes me back of like I know we always talk like talk crap about networking, right? You have to get through that awkward phase. If you
Oh.
do go to an organization or a group, where everyone, it's like a basketball group, for example, you don't need to ask, oh, do you like basketball?
You
They like
know, yeah.
basketball. Now you can get past that awkward phase of like, oh, what's your favorite player? What do you think about this? And then you have that discussion, and then after now then you build rapport, because both of you guys like basketball. Great. What else do you have in common? So it's kind of like a introduction,
Mhm.
that you used to have to do before for like networking events, but now that bridge has been crossed because you guys have something mutually in common.
Yeah, and yeah, just keep on asking questions. Everybody gets curious about each other, and who knows, you might be the same person. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, you
yeah,
never know. So, oh, cool. Okay.
yeah.
So,
So I mean, that's my Christmas gift. Just the best Christmas gift is just being able to go back
family,
home and see my family, friends, and yeah, reconnect,
staying connected.
staying connected. Yeah, as always.
Okay. So,
Well,
it's
yourself.
yeah. So best Christmas present for myself. It was about 6, 7 years ago. I think I was still in college. Might have graduated, but my one of my brothers gave me this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you heard of it, but
Yeah.
it's basically a financial book. And the premise of the story is to build a lot of assets that will generate income for you instead of liabilities. So, for example, an asset could be a stock that pays you dividends, quarterly or monthly, whatever. But basically, it pays you money. So you're making money as you're sleeping or not doing anything. And a liability is like, you know, a lease or something on your credit card, so because you
Yeah.
have to pay that off monthly, right? So at the time, that concept of having more assets, building liabilities to me was like it blew my mind. Because
Mm,
we weren't taught that in high school. No one taught me that in college. So I'm like, in my head, I could make money while I'm not working. Because I've always watched all of these YouTube videos about the rat race, how
yeah.
everyone's just working and then spending money on like things to make other people like them, and it's a whole status game.
Yeah.
And growing up, I wasn't born in money, and then neither was my family or the people around me.
Mhm.
So when you see culturally like people having lots of money to do
Yeah.
whatever they want because they have the freedom and the time, right? They're not bounded by their 8 to 5 job or
Mhm.
whatnot. So I wanted to be like that. And this book was like, if you have enough assets um, to help you, plus it talks more about like, also making more money. But for now, we'll stick with the assets because if you
Mhm.
make more money, then the chance of you having more assets to produce income is greater.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was in debt. I just graduated college, had a crap job, and this kind of like spoke to me. And it's even though the book isn't the most content rich
Mhm.
thing you'll read, and it just repeats the same message
Yeah.
over and over. It changed my life, like the way I view financial education, and it kind of like jump started how I look at my spending, and I think that's how I became
Yeah.
super cheap. Because
What's the greatest advice from that book you've taken?
definitely build more assets. Like,
Mhm.
why am I using my money to spend on like, like is examples like coffee, you know, like why are you spending $5 every day on coffee while
Yeah.
you
We
can
know a lot of
use.
people that are like that.
Yeah, but the caveat now that I'm wiser is like you can treat yourself as long as you've invested that money already. So let's say,
Mm.
for example, you have $1,000 after tax. That's $500 you put to investment, and then 300 to whatever, and then now you have $100 left to like play. Yeah, reward yourself because life is short.
Yeah.
You should enjoy it. But for me, um, it made more sense to not spend money on like anything. So I would always try to get things free, or like I'll be
Yeah.
really cheap about many things. Just so
Mm.
I can keep putting that money back in my
Back into it.
so eventually it grew, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's some
Mm.
truth to this. If I keep doing this for another 10, 15 years,
Then yeah, you
I'll
just
be,
see it build. It's just
and then it just started from there. It started my journey of financial education. I wanted to learn more about this, because I don't want to work 40, 50 years, with a company, and then eventually get paid by Social Security.
yeah, that's the
I'm I'm not about that. Like
common thing, right?
by the time I have that money, I'm too old to like enjoy it.
Yeah, you cannot do much.
But but I don't want to be young and just spend all that money. I wanna be disciplined with my money. So
Mm.
that book fundamentally changed the way I look at money, the way I look at spending, my habits, and it basically gave me a nudge towards pursuing greater financial literacy, pursuing more education. Because at that point in my life, I was just content. I was content with what I was making. I was content with just being average, and why be average when you can be great, or when you can be the best, or strive to be the best. So
I mean,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I still have the book, but
mm,
I'll lend it to you.
like you mentioned, like financial literacy. Do you? I mean, I don't know either. Like back in high school, like I don't remember having any of these financial literacy classes or yeah, just being taught until I experienced yeah, like debt and all of that, like after college, all of that. So I learned on my own, like how to deal with all of this stuff. Is there any reason why you think they're not teaching it in high school before we
Oh
jump
yeah.
to?
So not to bash the DOE, but like the way their curriculum is set up is they value history and English and math, which is all great, but then like for an average person, learning about my credit will be awesome, learning about loans, learning about
Yeah.
debt will be awesome, learning how to save would probably be better than learning calculus. Because I don't want to speak for everybody, but for a lot of people going to my high school, not everyone is going to achieve want to go into calculus or mathematics. Not everybody
Mm.
wants to be go into biology. I have a couple of friends that are going to medical school, but that's one or two people out of five, five
Mhm.
to 600 kids. What about
Yeah,
the rest of the kids? Now that, it's funny, we only learn these lessons when we're in trouble. You only learn about debt
exactly.
until, and that's why they defer, all that debt you have until after you graduate, because
Mhm.
they don't want you to think about the interest accumulating. They don't want to see that debt number rise up, and then they just hit you right at the end, and then you're stuck paying interest for like a couple of decades.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's especially like nowadays, like for people that are unemployed, it's hitting them hard a lot more than people who are working, and having some sort of resource for them to kind of learn about finances, investments, and savings, all of that. It's pretty key now. I mean, that book is definitely something I want to try check out, and yeah, I mean, it's there's definitely resources out there where I mean, not just that book, but yeah, that you
Definitely.
can.
And the question is always like, oh, where do I start? Where do you start is like, that's a good question. That maybe something that's what you ask yourself, like what I want to know, or what do I have trouble with? Let's say, for example, how do I save money? You literally type that in onto Google or YouTube, then you'll have your answer. But just the same as trying to fit in. We gotta put in the work. Like it sucks to say it, but for a lot of public school students, that's where our disadvantage is. All the private school kids, and I know this because I'm dating one, and I have a lot of friends that were in private school, and they tell me, no, yeah, they teach us that. They teach us this. They teach you very valuable skills, and in public school, you're so far behind. Just because someone from the Department of Education thinks this is the best curriculum, but that's just for you to navigate through academics. But what about life?
Yeah.
What about the other things? But as with everything, the best way to learn is to ask yourself the questions and take that question, Google, YouTube it, and yes, you're gonna be bombarded with information. There's just so much information, but you can do it the hard way and basically go through all those videos and then learn through experience, or you find the most successful person that do something for them, and try to get them to mentor you. That, I think, for me, that's the easiest way. But for a lot of people, they don't have that access, but you do have access to a library. Just think of the smartest person and then
ask questions. Never hurt.
DM them, ask them on Twitter. There's so many different ways now. Back then, we were so limited. No, email them. Find out what's the email. Call them. No one, a rich person likes nothing more than like someone young and passionate that's willing to work for free. Who cares if you work for free? As long as you're getting that information, that skill, that will help you in the long term.
Well, that's pretty useful information that we all can take going into the new year, and just improving our financial literacy, and try to save up, invest, and
do you have any financial goals that you had for this year, next year?
I mean, buying a home was something I was always interested in. Not this year, but along the way and all that. And
do you have a portfolio? Do you have a stock portfolio?
I do, but it's not. I'm still like trying to educate myself a little bit more on that whole process. And it's definitely something I just recently started picking up and trying to research more on. I am like a beginner at all of this, so this is something that I want to keep researching more on, educating myself, and hopefully
I'm glad that you're starting now, because time is your friend. Like the difference between starting at 25 versus starting at 30 is a world difference. So start now. Like you're so young that a recession won't matter. Like you'll recover. That's just how the market. Even if you go through a recession, it's gonna bounce back up, and you're so young, it won't affect you.
So that's something to work on. And if anybody's listening out there, these are some useful tips and resources that you could use in your own life.
We definitely need to do another episode on basics of financials and our struggles with financials and such.
Broke like that, So everybody has their own journeys with finances, and
there's a saying that I've heard someone. I want to say it's me because I just thought of it.
You never know.
There, like you can be broke, but there's different levels of broke. You can be physically broke, which is the cash and all that, but don't ever be mentally broke. So even if you're in debt, keep the mind strong. If you have money and you're keeping your mind strong,
then
limitless.
Because
if you have either, you're not physically broke or you're mentally broke. If you have one or the other, like it's gonna hold you down. You know, it's gonna hold you
Mm,
back so much. So
need
yeah,
both.
stop being broke. Anyway, let's go. Let's go ahead and jump into our recommendation of the week. Remember, it could be a
Mhm.
tip, a book, a resource, an article, a quote, etc., etc.
All right. You want to go first?
Oh, glad you asked. I do. Um, so this is something I've been thinking for a while, and it goes into especially the theme of this year about gratitude.
Mm,
Right? You know, like even though I've lost a lot, you know, I'm still grateful for the things that I have. You know, like shelter, healthy friends, healthy family. So it doesn't matter how much you lose, you're still much better off than people elsewhere where they've lost everything. Um, and this goes into a work example that I had, and basically the advice is, even someone was giving me advice on a work conflict,
mhm.
right? And it was terrible advice, like I didn't really ask for advice, but then like the conversation went that route, and then this person was like, oh, I know what you can do. You can do so and so and so. And in my head,
What?
I was like, oh my god, this would never work. This would never work. Like I don't know what fantasy world you're living in. But the more important thing is that you you don't be a jerk about it. Remember, you want to build relationships. You want to build long term because even though this person might not be good at this certain piece of advice, they're good at something else. So if your reputation is to be a jerk anytime someone gives you advice, that's not something good to have. So what I did was I showed gratitude. Thank you for giving me this advice. Let me try it. And so it's always good to have someone from different industries give me advice, a different outlook. And this person was super appreciative. Thought nothing, thought nothing of it. But I guess the caveat that I want to say is you don't want to you want to show gratitude, but you don't want to mislead this person into thinking, oh yeah, that's the best advice, and I'm gonna keep telling that to other people. So, when I saw this person again, I had to tell them, hey, this didn't work because of these variables. This might have worked if so and so and so happened,
Yeah.
but and I ended with because of your advice, I was able to maneuver, and talk to and resolve this conflict in this certain way. So thank
Mhm.
you for pushing me down the right path. And you know, a little thank you goes so long, especially
Yeah.
during times like these. It's so
Anything.
hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard to say thank you. It doesn't cost a thing, and I think if we're more appreciative and of one another and say thank you more, and I appreciate you. I think life just gets a little easier, a little
It
better.
does.
But don't lead them to think that their advice is the end all be all. It's just that's a caveat to that. Appreciate, say thank you, but don't mislead.
Yeah. Remember that. Write that down. Oh, that's
All
pretty
right.
cool.
What do you got,
Um,
Kenny?
well, for me, I'm gonna make things a little bit more fun. As I mentioned, I'm not going back home during the holidays. I can't see my family, my brother, not even like a lot of my friends here on this island. So recently, we did this Zoom virtual happy hour Christmas party. Um, and that allowed everybody to just come together virtually and just enjoy each other's company and reconnect. And I haven't seen a lot of these friends for months. Yeah, physically in person, or we would text every now and then. But yeah, transitioning into my recommendation is to make use of these virtual Zoom chats that technology has allowed us to utilize over the past year. Um, Again, this is not a sponsored ad by Zoom, but thankfully we got this ability to have multiple people in one chat room and show our gratitude by giving our time and just reconnecting with people you haven't seen in forever. And that's my plan during Christmas is to so if you're listening out there, if you're spending Christmas alone or the holidays alone and unable to travel, reconnect with other people, utilize Zoom. This is a great way to just talk to your family, friends, and also you can still have fun with it. um, there's a game that I want to recommend. I mean, you can be creative with it, but my friends and I, we played this game called Gimme Gimme. Everybody is Zoom video calling from their home, and there's a lot of stuff in their house that they could you know uh, yeah, there's basically a lot of stuff in their house. So the point of Gimme Gimme is to have a host, and that host will say gimme gimme toilet paper. So people who are in the chat room will compete to get that toilet paper, and yeah, in the end you just win a prize after all of that fun stuff. So you just got to get creative with it, and yeah, you don't have to spend a lot. All you need is the time with everybody, and yeah, just finding the time to do it, to meet up with everyone is important. So showing gratitude by giving your time, and you can still celebrate the holidays virtually, even if physically being able to meet people is okay, but not right now. Just
I agree. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, another good episode. Yeah, this is Christmas time or happy holidays if you're
Happy
celebrating another.
holidays. Yep.
Yeah. So stay safe, everyone. The year's almost over. Let's be safe and keep ourselves and our family and our community safe.
Yep. Stay
And yeah,
healthy, and yeah, continue to take care of each other, love one another. Don't forget to smile, laugh a little, and yeah, enjoy this special season that we're so used to, just sharing the love and joy with everybody.
and don't forget to subscribe to our
Yes,
social media,
yes.
our Instagram.
We're on YouTube. If you're watching, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. We're also on social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you can catch us on the road as well on Spotify,
Yeah.
wherever you go. Maybe your next holiday party at home, you can turn on Staying Connected and listen to our beautiful voices. Hopefully our voices sound beautiful.
We sound great, Kevin.
And yeah, I mean, you could also give the gift of staying connected to
Yeah.
your friends and family. So share the love. We really appreciate it.
All right. Until next time, connectors.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time. Stay healthy. Take care.